You are Delson Row, your playground is Seattle, your powers numerous. Anyone following the infamous series will know that this game will be taking on a whole new journey with a similar premise, a normal person gifted with a talent, or several in Delson's case, who can suck gifts from others. In this world, these norms with powers are called conduits, and they fuel their powers by sourcing from natural elements around them. For the first time in the infamous series, it steers away from a fictitious setting. This one's straight up Seattle, and it's ruled over by the Department of Unified Protection, or dupes as you'll come to know them. They want to rid the town of conduits, or as the dupes call them, bioterrorists, which is ironic because unfortunately for you, some of them are bioterrorists themselves. Well, no one said it was going to be easy. What you should know if you don't already about developers Sucker Punch is they do superhero as well as Bob Marley did reggae, and if you don't know what that means, it means really bloody well, and they're at it again this time round. The world is expansive, beautiful and full of adventure. You've got a brother called Reggie who travels into Seattle with you after discovering you have powers to take on the dupes and their leader Augustine. Reggie is alright, but he's not very good at moving around the city, he's pretty clumsy and annoying. But that minor flaw aside, the storyline is strong, the narrative fun, and it plays along with the environment, which is pretty neat. I'd compare the movement around the city to that of The Amazing Spider-Man on PS3, which was really bloody great. You gain different ways to travel around as the longer you play, the more powers you'll retrieve, and each power is better, stronger and more exciting than the last, so stick at it. This will also improve your combat, which can seem a little repetitive at first, but with more powers comes more choice. You'll take on not only the dupes, but other groups around the city that also have a problem with you, whether that's drug dealers, gangs, or activists. After gaining a new power, you'll travel around the city sourcing core relays to drain from in order to discover new abilities. It's a great way to develop and get used to a new set of tricks. You'll also hunt down shards around the city that enable you to upgrade pre-existing tricks and gain new ones. You may struggle to get to grips with each new power, but that mirrors the concept of being an ordinary human being planted with a whole new level of being. If you've been following the Second Son news, you'll already have seen smoke powers and neon. Sucker Punch has sworn me to secrecy on some of the powers you'll come across. I'd love to tell you, but you'll just have to play the game to find out. I'm going to say this though, they're definitely worth waiting for. As the tale suggests, you're not the only conduit in Seattle, and you'll encounter others such as Fetch who have their own backstory that help shape the character and the game. It's solid and riveting. Troy Baker is all over game narration as well at the moment, with recent Batman Arkham Origins and The Last of Us, but Infamous is not only his voice, but it takes from his face as well, which makes the narration even stronger. In fact, it took 75 photos of his face to mould it to match him. Straight up mission gameplay will take you about 6 hours plus, but there's so many more side missions, and each section of the city you enter is marked by a DUP controlled percentage. So for those completionists out there, you'll get a lot of gameplay out of clearing them out. Depending on what path you choose, you'll be rewarded with bad or good karma. Karma which can be used for specific upgrades, so your story will be different depending on your choices. Also, your entire ending will be different too. Like the last Infamous games, your moral decisions have consequences. And you're encouraged to stick to one route as your karma meter will rise depending on whether you're choosing bad or good, and in the end you'll receive mega powers, karma bombs, to use at different moments in the game. You can kill civilians or save them, you can kill enemies in different ways to split the path between good and bad. I chose to be bad because fun, but it does have you feeling psychologically torn. So whether you choose to be bad or choose to be good, you're going to enjoy the ride, and there's nothing stopping you replaying and trying both ends of the spectrum. Sucker Punch have done it again, and their underlying message, just because it's not normal, doesn't mean it needs a cure.